All right. Welcome to Supercharge with Digital Marketer, the bi-weekly podcast where we discuss everything related to entrepreneurship and how marketing is important for your success in business venture. I'm your host and also the founder of Marketer, Crystal. With us today is Jimmy, the CEO of Worldcraft Logistics, and we are super excited to hear some insights and business journey from Jimmy and about the logistic business. So let's dive in. All right.
Hello,
Thank you
everyone.
so much, Jimmy, for joining us today. And to get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how long have you been doing the business?
So, I opened Worldcraft Logistics for 11 years so far. A little bit about myself. I work for a logistic company, and I have a vision to build a bigger company. So I just branch out and just start on my own. In the last 11 year through COVID, through trade war, and now through recession, the business has continued to grow. Recession is a little bit different, but I think with the right idea and collaboration like this, I believe my business will continue to grow.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, can you share with us a little bit about the story behind the scenes of how you start your business and what inspired you to, to venture into the industry?
Uh, Originally, I did not think my business would grow this big. Originally, I was exporting car and ensure milk to Vietnam for my clients. So a lot of exotic cars, like all the majority of the exotic car that get shipped to Vietnam, I handle those. Um, and then ensure milk. In Vietnam, whenever you want to visit your grandparents or your uncle, they always like to give ensure milk or ensure powder from Costco. Nutrition stuff from Costco. So I was exporting a lot of that to my client. However, what happened was that the policy in Vietnam is constantly changing with cars and tax and supplement stuff in Vietnam. So what ended up happening is that I started to move towards the importing side of shipment. But then again, America, we import a lot of cargo. We buy everything from overseas, right? So I moved into that business, and then Amazon FBA. In the last 5 years, a lot of people going to the Amazon FBA business, and that business blew up. So I started having my first Amazon FBA client, and then he wrote this great article about my company, and yeah, we just blew up, and we have about so far we processed so far about 700 clients in our building, and we have roughly about 300 active clients in our buildings. So you know you change, right? And then through COVID, there was situation with the shipping industry about there was a delay. There's a lot of delay in the shipping industry, so I opened my own office in China to avoid the delay, so I have my own booking, and then I opened my own office in Vietnam. And then when it comes to America, the port was congested with the chassis, so I bought my own chassis. And then the trucker during that time, they were not driving because of COVID, so we invest money and we bought our own truck. Well, we didn't buy our own truck; we leased our truck, and we bought some truck, and then we have our own warehouse. So in a way, we are the whole supply chain. So that's how my company kind of grew, because we grew with the demand of the customer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, in terms of customer base, so when you first started, like how do you get your first customer and so on?
So what's crazy about our company is that we have no sales rep, zero.
Wow.
Yeah. So this company, we have no zero sales rep since day one. I guess you say I might be the only sales rep, but one sales rep cannot grow a company this big. So for my company, we focus a lot on the marketing. We create a lot of I'm pretty sure you guys do it too. We create a lot of YouTube videos, social media, and things like that. Marketing is a long term investment that a company should invest into. Sales is instant, right? Sales is instant, but the thing with sales is that it's not long term. For us, we're in this game for the long term. That's why we invest into a lot of the marketing, and a lot of our clients find us through social media. So
Oh,
that's
that's
how we grow
amazing.
our business. Yeah.
That's amazing, especially social media is, like booming right now. Everybody try to get into social media game, and I feel like it's a lot of, competitor on social media as well. So how you differentiate yourself from social media, and like what channel, like what media platform are you focusing on at the moment?
Um, the problem with the shipping, shipping is very boring. Shipping is not like music video, or shipping is not like fashion. Shipping is not like food. No one. You could take a picture of a very nice looking hamburger or chicken wings, and people will love it, like it, and they want to go eat it. Right? You have beautiful model with nice looking clothes on. People want to buy that clothes. I think for a lot of the marketing, that is easy, right? But now, shipping industry is very old. Like when people started trading, um, let's say fur, right? They use horse, they use camel, and now, of course, we don't use horse and camel anymore. We use truck, right? And we have warehouse. How do you make shipping fun? How do you make it so that people is interested in shipping? You and I would never Google a video on shipping, and that's going to be, this is how we're going to fall asleep at night. No, no, no. We rather watch something, right? So what I did was that I turned my video into educational videos. Like for example, um, I guess for something like how do you cook pho, right? Let's just say if I'm a pho restaurant, I would make a video how to cook pho, and then afterwards, I would say, hey, if you can't cook this pho, you can always go down the street and we cook it for you, right? So the thing is, we are educating the customer how to do it, but we also give the customer the option. If you can't do it, we will do it for you. So that's how I and then I put a lot of my video on YouTube on like how to video, how to do this and how to do that, because people in this industry, they want, the reason why they search for you is because they want to know how to do it themselves. But after they see your video and like, oh my god, cooking pho take me 6 hours, or cooking pho take me the whole day, you know what, I just go down the street and I just gonna buy a bowl of pho for like $15, right? It's I just go to work and then come home and go buy a bowl of pho, right? So same thing, like once they say, oh, you know what, shrink wrapping a pallet, that's too much work. I'd rather spend that time focusing on my business. So that's how we grew over the year, is that we create educational videos. But then after our educational videos, we like, hey, if you don't want to do this yourself or you can get bigger, there's a company out there that will take care of it for you.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I agree with you that educational video, like people tend to watch more of it, and having a call to action in the end is really help you to, gain more traction for your business. And yeah, that's so great to hear. So beside that, what are some challenges that you are facing as a business owner?
Challenges. So depending on where you're watching this, right? I think here in California, a lot of business owner face. There's a lot of labor law here in California. Like for example, um, employee, uh, um, 2 hour and then breaks, taking lunch on time. You know, that's the employee challenge, right? So employer in California, the truth is, you talk to a lot of business owner and they say having a business in California is a challenge. I think this is the hardest, not one of the hardest state. This is the hardest state to run a business, right? For the employee point, from an employee to employee point of view. And then some of the challenges, like for example, the trade war, right? Like 4 years ago, when we have trade war between China and the U.S., where the U.S. decided to tax like 25% on certain commodity, right? Goods stop coming into the U.S. So because of that, the company have to quickly change its direction. Like, now we can't do China anymore. Maybe we should focus on Vietnam, right? Or like during COVID, right? During COVID, there was challenges like, how do you, people were working from home, right? So, or there was a shortage of employees. So how do you keep up with the customer service? So for us, what we did was that we also have staff in Vietnam. So staff in Vietnam, they're working from home, and then staff in America, they're also working from home. So now we are integrating both sides, right? Or like the challenges of the trucking industry, if there's a shortage of truck, well, then you can't depend on your third party provider anymore. Like for example, if I was um, hiring someone like for your company, um, let's just say um, example would be, let's just say they have an in-house guy, right, that edit that video for them, right, for social media. If if their in-house guy is not working or he's quitting or whatever due to COVID, the owner of the company need to think, hey, is there a third party like your company that's going to be around and have multiple staff in the back? So let's just say if one of your staff gets sick because they hire your company, if one of your staff gets sick, then you have three more other staff that will edit the video for them. So the social media continue. So for us, I think it's just the vision of seeing what's going to happen next. Like for example, we knew recession was coming like 6 months ago. So now we have to steer the boat. The fix should be 6 months ago. Like I believe if company are making adjustment now, when we're in the recession, I believe it's too late already. It's too late. It's going to be difficult for them to get out, but they will get out. But they're gonna have a hard time. Like for my company, we started fixing this 6 months ago. So the difficult of running a business is it's just seeing what's gonna happen next, seeing what's gonna happen to California in the next 5 years, seeing what's gonna happen to California in the next 10 years, or seeing what's going on with the global economy in the next 5-10 years. It's not about tomorrow or a month from now, but it's actually 5-10 years from now. That's how business should be run, seeing the long-term vision, right?
Yeah, I think it's really important as a business owner that you have a long term vision instead of short term, because like anything could happen, right? We need to be prepared before that happen. Otherwise, it's gonna be too late, and you're gonna just go with the flow, and that's not how business works. So yeah, I think it's really important. So with
Well,
like a difficult time like this, especially like before with the COVID, like how do you navigate through the challenge?
yeah, I mean, like a lot of business struggle to the COVID challenge is because for uh, I'm 39, and I think a lot of people, what happened was that this they have never faced a worldwide disease before. So who do you ask, right? Who do you ask to say, "Oh, hey, mom, during let's say there's a Vietnam War, right? Mom, during the Vietnam War, what happened? What did you do?" And your mom is like, "Well, during the war, this happened." So at least we kind of get an idea what to do, but we can't really run to anyone and say, "Oh, hey, during 20 years ago, there was a COVID-19. What did you guys do?" Well, no one knew what to do. So I think the best thing to do is when we are facing recession, or we are facing COVID, or we are facing a worldwide recession, the best thing to do is actually sit down with other business owner, share ideas, and say, "Hey, I'm doing this. Maybe it's right. What do you think? And what are you doing?" And the other business owner have to come in, and other business owner have to say, "Hey, I'm doing this. You want to try it out too," because that is how business grow. But the thing is, we don't think about this during good time. During good time, everyone is like, "I'm good. I'm going to stay in my house. I'm going to grow my own business." No one share much, right? But during bad time, but the thing is, for our company, the bad time is the best time to grow, because only during bad time it separate the good company from the bad company. And when it's good time, my analogy of good time is this: if we're going to go eat and all the restaurant is good, why change, right? But if if I go to an area and they sell food and the food is really bad, for me, I believe I want to thank them for serving such bad food, because they are serving such bad food. It gives me an opportunity to go in and open a restaurant and just be number one. So in a way, we want to thank the bad company. Because of them, it allow us to get more business, right? So we want to thank the bad time. The bad time is the best time to grow your business.
Yeah, I believe so too, especially because that time we have a lot of opportunity coming in for you to, solve the problem that we are having and then, go on from there. So I think so too. And yeah, also I think with this time there's a lot of thing going on, right? Recession and also the wave of technology. So um we let's discuss a little bit about the role of technology and innovation. So
Yes.
how do you gonna integrate like new technology in order to grow your business?
So so we knew recession was coming 6 months ago, and based on the information that we have, like we have our contact in China and Vietnam, and they say the factory over there are not starting up back up yet. So I believe this recession is going to last for sure more than 3 more months, right? For sure. I'm not an economist. I can't guess how long this is going to last in 2025. I can't guess that, but I know for sure it's going to be more than 3 months. So as we run through this, right? So what have my company been doing to reduce costs? What have my company doing to for the technology side? So during COVID, we started invest into having staff overseas. So that's rough. So before COVID, we started doing that already because we believe this is also the future because as the global market is growing, technology allow everyone to connect faster, right? So in the last 4 or 5 years, but 4 or 5 years ago, we started having our staff in Vietnam to give us support from accounting to APAR, bookkeeping, import, export, trucking dispatch, uh, marketing, IT. So pretty much we clone 50% of our American staff to Vietnam to reduce costs. Even though we clone the staff in America, it doesn't mean that the staff in America is losing their value. What happened was that we increased the pay for the staff in America because the money we save, we pass it on. So the staff in America is also happy, right? So they work less, they get paid more. Now we have support in Vietnam, and now Vietnam is also happy because we also pay the staff in Vietnam a lot. But even with um, the the use of labor, we realize labor is not manufacturing, right? Manufacturing of labor is not the answer. The answer is actually in technology. It's actually into automation, right? So we started. As of right now, we have a staff of 9 IT, a staff of 9 IT, just constantly programming to reduce the workflow and to make everything automated. So it's very rare for a logistic company to have IT people. We don't do that. They don't do that. So we have in-house and we build everything from time clock so that HR will reduce their workflow. We build a forklift checklist. So forklift every morning, normal company they have a piece of paper and they check it off. Very old school, right? But we have automation. We scan the forklift and we just check it off, and it gets tracked anywhere in the world, right? Um, and then in terms of like you were saying earlier, AI, right? So we started looking to we didn't start looking to AI. We started already, right? So a lot of our we tested on 5 videos where we are using AI to explain to the customer updates on our company, like hi, like our company in the last 3 months, our company have implemented this new software. This is how you use this software. So we are using AI to explain that to our customer. We are using AI to start writing article about our company. So we are uh, other company talks about, hey, AI is great, Chat GDP is great, you know, outsourcing is, is this is what I should do. People talk about it, but people don't really do it. But we're a little bit opposite. We actually invest money into doing it, right? I'm off of technology. I'm like back end technology. So I hope that answer your question. If how my company have grew over the year is because we constantly investing to upgrade. We upgrade quite a lot. I would say if our staff work here for 3 months, expect the company to change in 3 months.
Yeah, I see. But it's amazing to hear that you already integrate technology in your process because I believe like AI is the future. Like it's already here, right? We need to invest into it, especially like you say, like streamline the work, make the workflow much more efficient than before. So I think, we invest in it now because it's for the long term, right?
Yes.
Yeah, self cost and everything, especially during hard time like this. We gonna by investing in AI is gonna help your business grow even further. So yeah, really good to hear. But
But it's
beside that,
hard. But it's actually very. I'm going to cut in. Sorry. I believe it's hard to justify hiring an IT person. For example, let's just say if we what do you usually market for? What kind of client do you usually market for? I'll use an example for you. What kind of client do you have?
yeah, startup.
Startup. Okay, there we go. Startup. So you usually market for startup company, right? The problem with startup company is that they're tight on budget. It's usually like maybe one owner or maybe like a few partners. They come together, and the structure is not great. Like the owner's doing everything, right? The owner, he's the marketing guy, he's the IT guy, he's a sales guy, he's everything, right? That's the problem with startup. They have no money, right? So to tell a startup owner, hey, um, you own a pizza place, okay? I think you should hire a guy that specializes in AI to start doing things for you or whatever software, right? It doesn't justify because like an IT guy easily, $80,000 a year. A good IT guy is like $150,000 a year. It's so hard, right? It's so hard to justify. Wait, I just spend $10,000 a month to learn AI for a guy to do AI for my company.
Mhm.
I, I think because of that, people need to outsource. Like company like yourself, like like people who use you, like your service. So I believe that it is a difficult thing. It's easy to say I want to do AI, but it's hard to execute.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, especially AI is here. However, there's a lot of different AI coming in and different way to use it, and learning how to use it is a different game. So I think with company like this, either you invest in like IT guy learn AI for you, or you invest in like another business like us. We already learn AI, we already integrate AI, and we are implement that in your business. So yeah, there's a lot of way to do it. So with AI and technology and everything, so do you see any risk is going on here when you investing in technology like this?
Um, there's always risk into investing in technology. So this is my risk reduction. So every action you do in life, there is a risk, right? Um, Having a boyfriend is a risk, right? Going out dinner with some guy is a risk because you're wasting your time, right? Um, Getting a degree, there's a risk that you might not use that degree, right? So let's give an example of a software risk. Okay, if a company were to write their own software, let's say a time clock software, okay, to write a time clock software or to write some kind of software that will help the staff work a little bit faster. um, well, us do time clock software. It require a virtual, right? It require vision, right? So you need a UI UX, you need a front end, you need a back end, you need a full stack, a manager. So that's a complete set of four IT guys, right? So four IT guys, the average pay for four IT guys, let's say $80,000 a year. $80,000 a year. So you have four IT guys. Let's say $320,000 a year. Okay. So for a company to say, hey, I want to invest into a technology to do this, it's going to cost the company $320,000 a year. So he brings this to the CEO or the owner. He say, hey, this is the kind of money I want to spend. Well, there's a possibility that by the time that he finishes software, it doesn't work. And there's a possibility by the time he finishes software, it sucks. And there's a better time clock software. Why don't just go buy it, right? So the risk to invest into software or learning AI in America is $320,000, right? What company should have done is that they should explore outside America, just like the microphone that you are using or the fan that you have in the back is manufactured in China, right? I think I'm guessing it might be manufactured in America, but there's 90% of the stuff that we own is not manufactured in America. So why, like, if I were to invest $320,000 to build a, a software, if I do it overseas, I could have made like 10 software. Out of those 10 software, one of them is going to make it. So what business want to do is they want to reduce their more chance of success with less risk. The problem with manufacturing software in America or creating a software in America, I call it manufacturing because that's what it is. It's creation or manufacturing, all the same thing, right? When you produce something in the U.S., you only have one chance, which is $320,000, right? A year. That's a lot of money, right? But if you were to do this in foreign country, it might only cost you $50,000 for a year. So the thing is, you have six chances to mess up. That's nice, right? It's nice to know that, let's just say for you, right? Let's say you take a test. It's nice to know if your teacher tell you, guess what? This test right here, if you do it in America, we only give you one chance. If you fail college, right? But if your teacher tell you, hey, guess what? Crystal, if you would take this test in Vietnam, you get six chance. If you fail, you have five more chance. Where would you take your test?
In Vietnam for sure.
Thank you very much. There you go. So that's my analogy of why business are struggling is because they are not invested in the wrong place, but they need to start opening up to the global economy.
Right. Yeah. I think so too. Especially right now, it's really easy to connect with people in other country. Like you said, now you have, staff in Vietnam and also in China and so on. So I think it's time for business to expand globally instead of, having the mindset of only hire here or only operate here in the US. So yeah.
Yeah, but there is a flaw in a global economy, right? So let's say we here in America we do a business a certain way, right? We do business a certain way, but when we start to expand globally, the problem is that when we go to, like, let's just say China, then we have to learn a new way to do business. And then when we go to Vietnam, then we have to learn a new way to do business. If we go to Canada, then we have to learn a new way to business, like, or Mexico, right? There is it. I think it's really depend on the owner. I think if the owner is happy, no, owner's happy. Anyway, I think base. I think when becoming a business owner is about how do you want to be creative, right? But at some point, you don't want to expand too much because you forgot why you started the business. Like you, right? I believe you started this business is because you want freedom. I'll tell you, business owner is what? Freedom, money, and time. That's why
That's
you guys.
true.
That's why we start our own business. Freedom, money, and time. That's why we start our own business, right?
Yeah.
However, the problem with the expansion is that as you expand, you start to lose time because now you have more business that you gotta run, right? So time run out because now you don't work 8 hours anymore. You work more than 8 hours as a business owner, and then freedom. Well, there's not much freedom because now it's globally, right? Like if you're gonna manage it here in America or one branch, you get phone call from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the morning. Maybe some phone call at night. But now when you do it globally, well, you might get phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning from Asia, right? So yeah, that's become a problem. Money, money, money comes and money goes because the problem is this: if one branch is doing well, you make good money. But when you expand, your new branch is not going to do well. So right now you go back into the hole. So sometimes as business owner, I think some business owner they keep it small, and some business owner they grow it big. But as a business owner, as you continue to be creative, that's one of the reasons why you start your own business too. Just like me, we want to be creative. We want freedom to share ideas. Right? Is that we forgot why we started in the first place. That's the funny part, right? The reason why we start the journey and after we end the journey, it's completely different. But at some point, I think we no longer the reason why we continue is not the reason why we start.
That's true. That's true because when you start, you only have the reason. Oh, you want to be freedom and everything. However, when you already have a team and client and everything, you want more, right? You want more revenue. Want to expand the team, or even you have different idea coming in. Oh, you not just want to do one thing anymore. You do want to do integrate. Like invest in technology or doing like AI software for example. So yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So, but I actually have a talk about this topic. Um, we business owner want to stay in the game. We never want to leave the game. So the point is to continue playing the game.
That's true. Yeah, because I think starting is easy. Anyone can start a business nowadays. It's really easy. However, staying in the game and show up every day. Not everyone have been able to do that. So I think entrepreneur is not for everyone because of like the amount of work and the amount of consistency you have to do in order to stay in the business. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if I had to do it again, I wouldn't do it.
Oh really?
Yes, if you think about this, right? I mean, the you know, this is it's always two view, right? Being sorry, I want to be very clear. Majority of our parents want us to be doctor, lawyers, and stuff like that, right? And then here we are starting our journey to become business owner, right? But there's a balance to it, right? I like the fact that I go to work for someone, and then at the end of the day, I'm like, that's it, 5 o'clock, I'm out of here. Thank you very much for my paycheck. Leave me alone. I can spend time with my family. When I want to go on vacation, I really go on vacation. My phone is off. No one call me. It is what we call a vacation, right? But I think being a business owner, of course, business owner, when you make profit, you make profit. But when you do bad, you might go bankrupt and you lose everything. But being a business owner, you're always on call. Like, of course, you get to go on your vacation, but you ask most business owner, have you ever gone vacation where you never receive a phone call? They will tell you, as I'm on my vacation, most likely I might have to work some hours or I might have to pick up my phone call. So, um, I think there's two view on being a business owner or working for someone. I think it's different people have different mentality. I I don't recommend being a business owner because we are only like 1% of the population. I think it's so stressful. I think it's not right for everybody, and I don't think mentally it's not safe. It's not healthy.
Yeah,
I
I
should
think.
recommend that in this video. But look, I'm smiling. I'm having fun, right? But sometimes I do go crazy.
Yeah, I think there's always like two sides of the coin, right? If you're working for someone, doesn't mean that you're gonna work that job forever because anything can happen. Like right now, there's a lot of layoff in the industry and everything. So people get laid off, people lose their job and everything. So there's no certainty here. It's the same of doing your business. There's no certainty. However, you are having more of you know the power to to control your business and everything because the for your business we have risk and everything. However, you are the one who like tearing the wheel, so you are the one who can see which way can you where you can go and where you can grow and everything. So yeah, I think it's a trade-off to be the business owner as well, like you say, like you always be on call. However, I think the trade-off is you start your own business and you don't have the time, but you have, I think the freedom of choice, right? The freedom of choice on how you want to expand the business, how you want to do the business, and so on.
I could agree, but then I'm gonna tell you the stress of it, right? Um, you and I are nowhere near Elon Musk. Okay, so let's imagine. Let's give an example of Elon Musk or us. Okay, let's just say you and I. So Elon Musk rocket, I heard it blew up 3 times until the fourth time it finally works, right? So let's give an example of us. Let's just say you and I build a house. Okay, that's a lot of money. We build a house in California. House in California is pretty expensive. We build a house in California, and then you go in, you turn on the light switch, and the house catch on fire. Okay, and then you're like, okay, let's build another house. I mean, that's pretty stressful. The first house catch on fire. So you go in and you build another house, and then the second house catch on fire, and you build your third house. You turn on the light switch, and your third house catch on fire. And this is over the year, like a 5 year span, right? I think every time when your house catch on fire, as you turn on that switch, what kind of stress level are you at? And I'm giving example of a house which is like $1 million. This guy was building rockets. So millions of dollars, hundreds of anything, right? Of millions of dollars. And I think what it is your tolerance for stress have to be extremely high
That's true.
to the point that your house could catch on fire and you could build it 4 more times, like 3 more times.
Yeah, I think so too. That's why not everybody is suitable to start their own business, being an entrepreneur, because you have to have like high risk tolerance, and also have
High
enough
stress tolerance.
yeah, and enough courage to keep going despite all the failure and everything. And I really believe that failure is a step for towards success, and you only need to do things right one time, and that's it. Despite all the failure, you only need to success one time, and then good for it. So that is my belief.
Oh, okay. I mean, I really like the positive thinking. I mean, we have to positively thinking as we travel this journey being business owner. We are building a boat to go to the sea. A lot of people build a boat to go to sea, but they never think about their boat will hit a storm. A boat will always hit the storm. Business will always have problems. And sometimes as business you will face bankruptcy a few times. It's just the resilience of getting it through, right? Um I would say every time I expand my business, I face bankruptcy every time. Well, I didn't go bankrupt, but so for example, um, when I moved from 4,000 square foot warehouse to 18,000 square foot warehouse, my rent went from 3,000 to 15,000. Right? When I went from 18,000 square foot warehouse to 79,000 square foot warehouse, my rent went from $15,000 a month to $50,000 a month. That's a lot of thousand. That's like for some people they look at it. Well, you could literally buy a car every month, right?
Yeah.
So right now we are in 114,000 square foot warehouse, right? And rent right now is extremely high, but it's just I would never think that one day I'd rent 4,000 square foot warehouse. Let's say 4,000 square foot warehouse is $4,000, and then now 114,000 square foot warehouse is $114,000, right? I pay way more than that because freaking rent market sucks right now, right? But I mean, waking up one day and say, hey, you know what? One day I'll be paying rent for $114,000 a month. That's not kind of healthy. It's crazy, right? But there's a reason why we continue to build. I think I think we business owner continue to build is because we enjoy it. It's not for the money. If it was the money, we quit a long time ago. We just
Yeah,
enjoy
that's
doing it,
true.
right?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, that's where we, trade off our time, our trust and everything because we enjoy doing it that, right? So
yes.
looking ahead, do you see any trend or any in development in the future for your, the company that you're working on?
Okay, so um, it's not about my company; it's the global market, right? So,
Yeah.
looking at the global market, we know that before that, which is the end of 2022, manufacturing in Vietnam. Let's just talk about manufacturing and transportation. I don't know much about other business, but I'm just to give a
Mm-hmm.
global view of what's going on about transportation and trading and manufacturing. Okay, so 2022 October November of 2022. It should be the year. It should be the month where factory in Vietnam, factory in China start manufacturing more because uh, that is coming and Chinese New Year is coming. So all the cargo going to be pushed out. However, during that time, around November of 2022, factory in Vietnam and factory in China will start to cutting hours already. So the slowdown started then, right? And right now, well, finally we're here. That's why we're in recession. Nothing's coming, right? So, uh, what's the vision in the next of 1 year? Well, let's do 3 months, 6 months, 5 year, 10 years, right? So in the next 6 months, I think companies should collaborate. Like for example, what you and I are doing, we're collaborating. We are trying to get ourselves out there. Business should be collaborating instead of saying how do I beat you. It's more like how can I work with you. If you own a pho restaurant and I own a hamburger restaurant, let's collaborate together. Let's market each other. Like I go to your pho restaurant and I eat your pho and I share in my group. It's like this pho is great, and then maybe some of my friends will eat pho at your place, and then you go to my hamburger place and you eat here. And you say, oh, I love Jimmy hamburger. It's great, and then maybe I'll get some client. That's collaboration, right? So that's the first thing we got to do. And then cutting budgets. That's the truth. Every company is cutting budget right now. So how do you narrow down this budget, right? Some do layoff. We don't do layoff. So what we do is we suffer together. So we tell all our staff, because the problem with layoff is that when you do layoff, employee hate you. It's like, well, why did you pick me to die? Like why do you pick me, like why did you pick me to die, right? Like that's not fair, right? So what we say is this: we say, okay, so we all suffer together. So instead of working 5 days a week, we work 4 days a week. And then there's going to be an employee out there that's going to say, hey, you know what, I know John, he just recently have a kid. How about I work 3 days a week because I live with my mom and I could save money. So John, he could work 5 days a week. People start to um, uh, work together, and people start to help each other within the company. So instead of layoff, company could do that, right? Um, I could do that, but maybe the tech company cannot do because tech costs so much they can't share, and it's salary. You can't do salary, maybe. Anyways, so that, and then how about for the next 1 year? So I think this might last for 1 year. So marketing, right? Continue to market, continue to get your name out there. There is going to be continued business. So 10, 14 years ago, my boss and I sit down, and this was during recession, right? 2008, near like 2000. Anyways, the recession during that year, and my boss tell me, currently 1 out of 10 companies doing well in this recession. My response was, why are we not one? Right?
Yes,
So
that's
that's that
true.
that's true, right? That's your problem, right? That you fail, right? So I understand that 1 company out of 9 is doing well. Okay, so those 9 company, whatever, well then be number one. Find a way. But apparently 1 company did it, which means that there is a way, right?
Yeah,
So
of course.
find your way, right? And then for the next 5, 10 years, Now we got to look at what the big companies are doing, right? So I consider any company that have less than 100 employees, America standard, right? Any company that have less than 100 employees are considered to be micro company, not small company, micro company. So during hard time, micro company they're scared, they're pulling back. They're not investing into technology. They're not investing into AI or marketing. They don't invest. They're pulling back. I understand that you have to do that, but big companies, um, your Costco, your Target, from my understanding, they are still investing into equipment like trucks and stuff like that. So wait, I'm so confused, right? So people's like, wait a minute, why are they still buying equipment? Why are they still expanding? Well, the global market has slowed down, but the population did not die. If you have a hundred people now in 2023, next year, 5 years from now, it might be 120 people. People give birth and grow. So that's the reason why you still have to invest into transportation, trucking, because people will eat again and people will live again. So the thing is, if you let's just say they say, you know what, we're not going to buy trucks for the next 5 years. The problem is that it also by the time the 5 year hit, they ran out of trucks. So in terms of big company, we have to think the big mindset. We still have to continue to invest and grow, but then it balance back. Like, how do you balance that, right? If you invest too hard, you might die. So it's a
Yeah,
balance.
yeah, that's true. And especially I think recession, right, like this, because the market go up and down, right? So we are in the downtime, but however, the market will go up again. So that's where there's a lot of opportunity over here where we have to, invest in technology, invest in whatsoever in order to repair for the market to go up again. So that's where we, stay ahead of the game. So yeah.
Uh yes, and so we decided to downsize 6 months ago. We make we make the decision to downsize 6 months ago. However, I do know that there's company that did not make the decision to downsize 6 months ago. They make a decision to expand because they think that during 2021, 2022, a lot of business grew, right? Real estate was doing well. Everybody decided to get their real estate license. Buying house was great. You know, I think what happens is that people were burning all their money into this whatever, burning their money to do a lot of weird things, right? And so right now, I think the money's dried up. The money has dried up, and now you say that they're going to invest through inflation. They're trying to invest through recession or trying to survive a recession. They can't survive in a recession right now because they already ran out of money because
Yeah.
they entered the game playing too hard that their cash reserve is gone. So um, I mean, like for me, right? Like as a business owner, since this I had to make a hard decision too. If this recession continue, I had to start selling homes that I invested in, right? To feed my business, right? To keep it alive. But a lot of business owner they might not buy a home during recession. During like the 1 or 2 years ago, they might went out and buy a sport car. They might went out and travel too much and eat luxury dinner and doing all this luxury vacation and stuff. So I think those are the one in trouble. But it's all about being conservative and just I think ready to see what's going on for the future and plan for it. That's the hard part.
Yeah, I think so too. Like you have to foresee the future and also, balance your spending and your investing and everything because of course you need to have like cash reserve for the recession because we don't know like how long does it take and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean well, I mean it's not helpful either because let's just say if you have 200,000, let's not say 200,000. Let's say you have $100,000 in your bank account, right? Or maybe 10,000. If you have $100,000 in your bank account, sorry to say, but if you didn't use that money, you already lost 20% because of inflation. So
Yeah,
that's
true.
why people have to plan correctly. I gotta say is this: There is no right answer or there's no wrong answer. At the end, you just finish the game and you just say, "Hey, I beat the game." It doesn't matter how much you die or how many times Mario dying saving the princess. The point is, at the end, you save the princess. Just do your thing and just don't overdo it, right? Just don't stress yourself out. You will go through stress, a lot of it, especially in this recession. But just continue, find a way to continue staying in the game, not win or lose, just staying in the game.
Yep, I think so too. So, last but not least, do you have any advice for entrepreneur or those who are looking for starting for their business, especially in this hard time?
Start the business if you know that you're gonna love doing it. You start the business is because you want to be your own boss. You start the business is because you're creative. You start the business is because you want freedom. However, in your journey, you will realize that it changed, right? Are you ready for the change? If you say that I'm okay, as I start my journey, I'm creative. I have 5 staff. I'm okay. As you start your journey and you have 100 staff, and now you have to deal with um, human resource staff arguing with each other, and you no longer wear your creative hat, then continue your journey. Then you could, but I guess another analogy that I have is like growing a tree. A lot of homeowner when they plant their tree, hoping that that tree is a fruit tree or that tree is going to provide shade for their home. But what happened after 10 years, 20 years, that tree just overgrown and the root are just lifting up the house and now that tree just start destroying their house. I think what happened is that a lot of people as they want to start their journey, they don't know the outcome of it. And when they reach there, they it's just stressful. But that's why it's a continual process. You just learn and grow. You just learn and grow. That's what it is. So my thing, I think my takeaway is uh, do what you love, right? If you don't love your business anymore, sell it. Get out, quit, right? That's it. You know.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for sharing. And yeah, I think doing what you love is definitely like the one thing that keep you going and do the business and anything. So yeah, do what you love and make sure you love what you do as well. So yeah. So that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for joining us today on the discussions. So as always, thanks for listening to Supercharge with Digital Marketer. And if you enjoy our show, please follow and rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And be sure to come back in 2 weeks for another discussion. So until then, this is Crystal, and don't forget, don't stop and keep believing. See you next time.
Thank you.